Hello my flowers and welcome back to my page, Messages from Venus, and this video is going to be in regards to elections, Donald Trump, my opinion. Some of you guys are going to agree, some of you guys are going to disagree, but you guys cannot continue to follow social media the way that you guys have continued to follow it and think that it's okay and think that this is the way to live, because it's not. I'm like looking for notes just in case things like pop up to my head, even though I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. But look, you guys, by now, those people that watch social media, those people that watch YouTube channels such as mine, spiritual channels, astrological weathers, you guys know about the spirit realm. You guys know what the third eye is, or have some sort of connection with the eye above the pyramid, okay? And then you understand there's levels to this shift. There are levels to the shifts. And the shifts it's a maze. It's constantly moving around. That's what that pyramid is actually telling you. And in that maze, there's levels. If you see where the president is, in the maze, he's just a representative of some sort of puppet, some sort of somebody that's put there to have the masses follow somebody while other things are getting done behind the scenes. I know a lot of people love to hate Donald Trump. Oh, he's garbage. Oh, he's this. Oh, blah, blah, blah. It's hurting your hearts and souls. But what you guys are not doing is researching what's happening in our country, here in the United States, and also abroad in other countries with other malicious, corrupt leaders, governors, the elites, etc., is greed and the excessiveness of either good or the excessiveness of bad, or what is portrayed to be good and what is portrayed to be bad. A lot of people love to hate Donald Trump. They think he's biased. They think he's a sexist. They think that he's not properly prepared or is not fit to run the country. And sometimes when I'm talking to older people like my roommate, or sometimes my parents, sometimes I pretend like to just follow their lead, because sometimes I feel like they just don't understand. They don't, and it's something they'll never understand. I feel some of them. It's not Donald Trump. You guys should know that by now. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. It has everything to do with the fact that humanity is not working together. And I feel like they use puppets like Donald Trump, and use leaders, and use other people, and use Democratic, Republican, and political parties to separate us. You separate people by having these category of things. Whether the elites are politicians, whether the elites are emperors, empresses, kings, queens, etc. The positions are there to separate those who know and those who don't know, and those who are fighting to know. And my thought about Donald Trump is that he is not the bad guy. Donald Trump is running the country as this country is. It is a business, okay? The United States is a business. I am going to leave the link in the description box to, and I mean, this video might not get monetized. I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's not going to stop me from voicing my opinion and giving you guys the details. You guys, the United States of America is it's a business. If you guys go to the Secretary of State, to the Secretary of State website, you will see the United States of America Department of Treasury, the United States of America Department of Agriculture, the United States of America Department of blah, blah, blah. It's a business, okay? If your name is in this Department of Secretary of State, in the link that I will leave you guys below, that means that that section or that business that you're looking for, that corporation that you're looking for, is a business. A lot of people that are going to watch me, or some people that are going to watch me, are going to be like, well, Madeline, well, how come you're talking the way that you're talking? How come you're saying the things that you're saying? Because you're supposed to be working for us. I don't work for the Matrix. The Matrix works for me. Okay? The Matrix is there to assist me. I don't work for it. I don't work for the people in it. Even if I have a job now, even if I find a job now, I find myself a new job, the fact of the matter is that job is put in place to provide for me. Even if I give my 40 hours, I give my 80 hours every 2 weeks, or 40 hours every week, 60 hours, whatever the case is. At the end of the day, it's put in place to get me one step closer to being part of the I. And I will explain to you guys in a separate video what that pyramid is, okay? Because a lot of you guys are way too into conspiracy theories. You're all into all this crazy stuff, and you're not doing the research that you're supposed to be doing. Is either you're a god or a goddess, or you're human. Is either you're a sheep or you're a leader. You cannot be both. You cannot be with the devil and God at the same time. You can't. It doesn't work that way. You cannot be lukewarm, okay? For those of you that follow your religious texts, please review your religious texts. Please read them. Don't just follow them because your pastor, your guide, your this, your that is telling you to do so. Read the text that is being provided to you so that you understand what's happening in the world today. Going back to Donald Trump, he is not the bad guy, okay? Everything that's going on with the immigration, the status of immigration, with sexism, with pedophiles like Jeffrey Epstein, everything that's happening has been happening in this country for centuries, okay? The fact that most of our presidents are united or are cousins and their own bloodline should tell you this is not a democracy. That's a given. It should tell you that, okay? Do your research on your country is what this video is actually about. Donald Trump is not the bad guy. Actually, he was supposed to win. You guys elected Hillary Clinton, okay? Most of us voted for Hillary Clinton. The people asked for Hillary Clinton. However, this is not a democracy. If it was a democracy, if things happen the way that they say or they portray on the media, then she would be our president. However, would you prefer somebody to run your country as the business that it is, as the republic that it is, than to have somebody who's a parasite, who is married to a complete parasite, who has damaged countries that can be the most powerful in the entire world, such as the country of Haiti, who have stolen money from the poor day in and day out, who cover up for pedophiles day in and day out, who cover up for missing people day in and day out, and lie day in and day out, and hide behind false businesses, than a man that is actually exposing pedophiles, even though he's around them because that is the world where he lives in. That is the world, that is the world that he, in many ways, put himself in, because he's a millionaire. And when you get to certain statuses of being just middle class, just being poor, going from completely destitute to being poor, to being a regular Joe Schmo, to being part of the middle class, to then being part of millionaire, to being probably a billionaire now. His businesses are probably worth close to $1 billion, if not already in the $1 billion. It's you meet different people whether you want to or not. The frequency is different. The game turns around. It shifts. Okay, the levels to the shift or to the game shift once you go up the levels in your frequency in this physical realm. Okay, that's for another video. You guys stop botching Donald Trump. He is not separating your families. He is not the person who is deporting people. Okay, there's a system in place and we work for that system. There's a system that was put in place by George Bush and his administration before Obama, before Donald Trump, and all the presidents after George Bush have to adhere to that. Okay, and it's called ICE. ICE is a baby. ICE, the program ICE, the program that immigration is today, that is called ICE, it hasn't been here for 100 years, okay? It was issued and it was started because of the quote-unquote terrorist attacks of 9/11, which you guys should know that by now, it was part of the bigger goal. It was part of the bigger plan. And When you guys go out there and vote, forever who's watching this video, even if it's 15 people watching the video, I really don't care. As long as somebody's out there reaching people, share this video, like this video, subscribe to my channel. I have a lot of information for you guys. Please note that when you guys talk about politicians, it's not about the politicians' personal life, their personal views. It's about the plan that was already put in place, is the constitution that they must follow due to the founding fathers, that were all Masons, by the way. Shout out to them. Shout out to my people, Masonic people. Shout out to them. They have to adhere to rules and regulations. Me, here in the United States, whether I agree to these rules and regulations, I have to adhere to the Constitution of the United States of America. Okay? I have to adhere to these rules and regulations because they were put in place not just to control you, but to regulate, to balance things out as a check and balance. That things have gotten out of control, out of the vision of what our founding fathers wanted things to look like, is another story, okay? Things shift. But don't just go out there and say, we're going to be against Donald Trump. We want to go against Donald Trump. Donald Trump does. He's following the rules and regulations that were already put in place. Some of which were also put in place by your always president, or your forever president, Obama, whom we all love and respect, etc. However, they were all there. Obama probably deported the same amount of people. It's just the hype of the media, the nonsense that the media puts out there to portray people in a certain light, so that you, the sheep, that do not pick up actual newspapers, that do not look at what the legislations are, or how people pass legislations, or how the Democrats actually think, or what is the difference between a Democrat and a Republican. Because for those of you that love to bash the Republican Party, if you believe in small businesses, if you do not like big corporations, if you believe in independence, you are actually a Republican. If you do not believe in assisting everyone that does not adhere to certain rules and regulations to receive certain assistance, like public assistance, food stamps, social security, etc., you are not a Democrat. You are a Republican, okay? We believe in the states. That's why all the states have their rules and regulations, even though we all have to adhere to federal law. But every state has their own rules and regulations. Not all the states have the same DMV rules and regulations. Not all the states have to follow, certain rules and regulations in regards to their small businesses, restaurants. We are not all the same. If you follow these rules and regulations, you are not a Democrat. You are a Republican. And as a matter of fact, Democrats actually inflame poverty, because most of people, and I'm a Democrat via paper, which I'm about to change that. I am going to change it to an independent, because I feel like it's too much of a joke and nobody's really adhering to what they should actually adhere to as a Democratic or a Republican Party. So I'm about to change that to independent party, even though nobody ever votes for the independent party, but that's not the goal. That's not my mindset. Going back to the Democrats, if you believe, if you see the Democratic Party and the fact that they love to fund and they love to give, it becomes an excess of giving as opposed to regulating. Most people that go to like social services, social services offices, unemployment, such as myself, most people need it, but there's a certain percentage of people that abuse the system, that are not there to better themselves, so therefore they cannot better society, mess up everything for those like us, or maybe you and me, or you, whoever's watching, or such as myself, unemployment, that actually need it. It is there to assist, not to abuse, okay? If you believe in that mindset, you are not a Democrat. You are a Republican, okay? I know a lot of us like to kick and scream about the fact that the first thing that Republicans do once they're in-house and once they rule the majority is that they take away from the social services programs. But if you look at the social services programs that are being provided by the city, and they're not privately owned, they're not for profit, Most of them are still open. They just get budget cuts because, for the most part, coming from somebody whose mom worked for the system for a very long time, most of the budget is made for the people who are the managers, the supervisors, and it gets abused. That's all they care about. They're not really doing visits, and the people that actually do the visits for ACS or other corporations, they're out here to stalk people that are actually trying to survive on an everyday basis, as opposed to going after those who are actually abusing kids. They're not following the system in place. The system is not the problem. It's the people that work for the system. So Donald Trump is not the problem, you guys. There is a system put in place. And again, I'm going to remind you guys, you can either be a god or a goddess, or you can be a human, okay? You cannot be both. Even myself, I'm in the human flesh. My appearance, my physical appearance is human to you. But the frequency and what I'm vibing off of is not human at all, in any way, shape, or form. At all, because I refuse to conform. And you shouldn't either. So this video goes out to those of you that think you guys know all your rules, legislations, regulations, etc. Know the rules and know who are the players in the game, okay? Your president is not the issue. You don't want to recognize him as your president, you have to recognize your constitution, and you will. Okay, you send your kids out to school and they're pledging of allegiance, you're pledging to the United States of America. Wake up, people. Wake up, okay? Wake up. The people that are being portrayed as evil and horrible are not the problem. They are not the problem. People that are trying to stop abortions are not the... You guys are going to hate me for it. They are not the problem. There are other humanoids. There are other parties. There are other people that would love for you to continue to get abortions. Like, for example, I am pro-choice. I love to give people the choice and their willpower, because once you take that away, then that gives too much power to those in the higher ranks, and it doesn't balance things out. I'm a very much believer in balancing things out. I am pro-choice. However, I feel like there should be certain rules and regulations for those women wanting to get an abortion. Like, if you want to go and get an abortion, there should be questions asked. Like, are you getting an abortion because you can't provide? Do you want to get on birth control, etc.? Which I'm sure these facilities like Planned Parenthood are doing. However, the people that are stopping abortions and not legalizing abortions are not legalizing it because they're taking your children. You guys have to know who you guys are. They're taking, whether you're white, black, purple, green, or yellow, there's a certain frequency within all of us. And some people, some corporations, some humanoids or other entities or other species are out there to take your children. There, you have to know, you have to study the composition of the human physical biological body and what we have inside, and how others can profit off of that, so that you're able to protect yourself, so that you're able to not put yourself in a predicament and nor a situation where even after you decide to get an abortion, you're still getting abused, or you're bringing another human being, or you're essentially killing another human being for the price of what? You know, so I understand where they're coming from. I don't think that it should be illegal to get an abortion. I think that people should have pro-choice. However, I understand where they're coming from. And I feel like a lot of people need to understand where other people are coming from, so that we can all unite and come as one, as a resolution. Now you're going to ask me, well, Maddie, if you were the president of the United States of America with all your rules and regulations, then what would you do in this situation? I would deport people. I would. If I cannot process you, and you come to this country and you're illegal, and with the rules and regulations that are now, trust and believe me, I will have to deport you as well. From the most painful portion of my soul, my heart, my soul, I will have to deport you too. With the rules and regulations and the constitution we have in place, you will have to be deported also. However, I feel like we should fight for changing those rules and regulations, not to kick your president off, not to fight people, not to kick and scream over immigration and crazy shit, because if other countries cannot support their own people, there's going to be little that we can do. Now, for those immigrants that have children here, and their children go to school here, there should be programs put in place to assist those families, because they should not be put apart, because this is, well, we are being portrayed as a democratic country, as a democracy. So when we have situations where they already have children, like dreamers that are here, you don't want to break those people. You don't want to break them up. And I'm sorry I say those people, it sounds a little harsh, it sounds cruel, but you don't want to break up people that are going through those situations. You don't want to do that, because it'll break up a family. It'll turn the person's psychological, the essence of that person, or the psychology of those children, of the people, will go into absolute chaos. Some people like chaos. There's some of these influencers, creators, etc., politicians that like that. However, if you were to ask me what I would do, I would actually give people homes. There are places in Middle America that are absolutely destitute. We can build communities. We can build a lot of infrastructure for these people, because we have the resources to do so. We just have to come together and make a plan, okay? For those of you that are rich, that want to donate, don't donate to bigger companies. Create your own companies and give homes to these immigrants, to people that are coming from different sides of the world. It's not just Mexicans. It's not just Central America. It's not just South America. It's not just the Caribbean. It's not. There are refugees in this country that came from this country from all over the world. From all sides of the world, and we have to recognize that, okay? It's not what the media is trying to portray to you. What would I do about abortion? It would be pro-choice, because I understand that it's not just me. It's not just me. It's not. And we cannot allow people to take our voice away. As a human right, we cannot allow other people to take our voice away. So please, 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 please do your research before voting. Know where you stand. And then once you do know where you stand, stop blaming Trump and accept yourself and your ideologies and your train of thoughts. And your thought is very important. The frequency of your thoughts is very important. Accept yourself and then make your choice. Educate yourself and then make your choice. Donald Trump is only going by rules and regulations that have already been put in place. Medicare, Medicaid, health insurance, listen, the only thing that changed about that plan was it's now Trump Medicaid, Trump care, as opposed to Obamacare, as opposed to Bush care, okay? That's the only thing that changed about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. I hope it opened your eyes to a difference of opinion, and that you go out there and not only vote, but also just research. Do your research, okay? Please water your life. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.